Hey guys, today on 5 Minute Figure Reviews we're going to be taking a trip down memory lane and have a look at some 90s Dragon Ball Z action figures. So these were the only figures that were available when Dragon Ball Z first came out in the late 90s. So we'll just have a look at the bunch of different ones that I have from when I was a kid. So first up's the Super Saiyan Goku figure. Now these are, I suppose they're alright for their time, but they're quite different to the SH Figure Arts ones. As you can see, they've only got 2 points of articulation, which is both the arms. Very little paintwork. The likeness is pretty iffy. Maybe at a distance it looks alright, but yeah, it's pretty... Ooh, what's the word? Interesting. Interesting is probably the only thing I could say. But yeah, when I was a kid I thought that was really cool. Okay, so then we've got Kid Buu, which I think is probably the best out of the bunch. He's got a pretty decent head sculpt. The rest is not too bad. Again, 3 points of articulation, which is not that great. And it's a weird way that they've sculpted the hands on his hips. I don't know why they've got him sort of doing that with his arms, but they have, so that's kind of a weird thing. Again, it looks okay. It's, for what it is, I guess it's fine. But yeah, that was the best Majin Buu at the time. Okay, so moving on to, what should we pick? Vegeta. Okay, so this one looks pretty terrible. His eyes look too far apart. Again, I thought he was pretty cool back in the day. I kind of like the metallic hair. But yeah, once again, you've got 2 points of articulation. I guess the boots maybe count as articulation, but yeah, it's pretty. I don't know what the word is really. Kind of awful. His eyebrows are really thin, and the likeness is it's very iffy. Okay, we'll move on to Trunks, which I really liked back in the day, but looking back on it now, I'm not so fussed with it. I do like the hairstyle. I wish that SH Figure Arts would bring out a Trunks with that hairstyle, but yeah, the rest is pretty bad. It's kind of cool that the armor clips off, and underneath is a pretty terrible sculpt, and the arms they just pull off. It also feels, all of these figures feel really cheap. Like, some of them are rubbery, some are like really hard plastic. They're all, yeah, really cheaply made with very little paint detail, as you can see. Again, I think even in the late 90s, figures looked better than this. It was like they were just cashing in on the Dragon Ball Z craze in America and the rest of the world. The armor itself is not too bad. I mean, very prone to breakage, very fragile plastic, but the sculpt's not too bad. So yeah, all these figures were made by Irwin Toys in America, which I think were just copies of the Bandai versions in Japan at the time. I'm not 100% sure on that though, but I know they were distributed by Irwin. Okay, so moving on, this was my first Dragon Ball Z figure, which is Piccolo, and he's not too bad. I mean, at a glance, he's okay. If you don't, yeah, I don't know, he is kind of bad, I guess. There's some nice paint details on the arms, some nice sculpt work on the, the lines of around his muscles and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Looking back on it now, I don't think it's aged that well. I guess it's kind of cool that the, the cape and the, the turban come off, and there's even little antennae sculpt on there, but yeah, not the greatest. And again, for some reason, they've got his arms posed in this sort of power-up position, which just looks really weird when you move them. And once again, 2 points for articulation. Yeah, the faces just look really odd when you turn them to the side as well. They're all kind of little small features that just don't look quite right. Okay, so moving on, this is a Super Saiyan 4 Goku, which I got later on in life. I didn't actually mean to order this, I actually got the wrong one in the mail. This was quite a while ago now, actually. As you can see, there's a bunch of different GT figures, which are all kind of terrible. Sort of like the Super Baby one there, but yeah. So this one's probably actually the best out of all of them. You can see he's kind of got nice sculpt work on the face, which actually looks like Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I'm actually quite impressed. The paintwork's, it's okay, it's better than the rest. Once again, 2 points for articulation. Feels pretty cheap. It's basically just a, what's the word, glamorized statue. Doesn't really do a lot else. But yeah, it's, as far as these figures go, it's probably the best, which is kind of surprising. I'm not a huge fan of the Super Saiyan 4 design, but it looks kind of cool. Glossy hair is kind of nice, and also like the expression he's got on his face. Okay, so here's another version of Super Saiyan Goku, and I have no idea why all the hair on these figures is gold. I'm not sure why they did that. I kind of like it, but it's still really weird. As you can see, he's got his sort of top of his gi on, which looks way too baggy. Okay, so here we come to the sort of second wave of figures that released that were made by Irwin specifically. They weren't copies of Bandai versions, and yeah, some of the bit hit and miss really. As you can see, we've got Nappa here, which kind of looks alright. It's a step up from the other figures. It's actually got some articulation. Looks a little bit more like the show, especially this Nappa. He kind of looks Mexican, which is weird, but I guess that's okay. Not really what you'd expect from Nappa, and when I was a kid I snapped off the Scouter, so my bad. But yeah, he's got swivel, he's got sort of nice sculpt work on the arms, and a decent likeness. Okay, so then we've got this Piccolo, which, yeah, I don't really know what to say about this. I kind of liked it as a kid, but looking back on it now, it just looks kind of terrible. The cape sculpted in this sort of windswept look, which is kind of annoying. Again, he's got better articulation, but yeah, I don't know if the likeness is very much like Piccolo. He looks kind of just more like a generic Namekian. I guess it's okay. Yeah, nice bright colours on it though, so that's, I guess, a plus. And then we've got this abomination, which is apparently supposed to be Trunks, but kind of looks like the Mona Lisa. It looks awful. I'm not sure what they were doing with that. I suppose the sculpt works kind of okay, but the face just looks awful. You've got this energy attack, which looks like a big, I don't know what you'd call it, just a big piece of shit. Yeah. I mean, even as a kid, I thought this one was kind of shit. I guess it's cool that the sword comes out, but yeah. This one's got better articulation than the first lot of figures, but it just, yeah, I don't know, I'm not a fan. Okay, so then we've got the creme de la creme of old school Dragon Ball Z figures. This is a big 30 centimeter Goku. Now, look at that. That is Goku. The face is, oh, I don't know. I can see the likeness there, but it just looks, yeah, pretty cheap. And I feel like they used an Action Man body mold for the actual body. I'm pretty sure that's what they did, and just whacked a Dragon Ball Z head on there. But yeah, it's got this sort of horrible satin jumpsuit, which looks awful. There's no wrist there's very little wrist articulation. The sculpt work on the arms looks pretty shocking. The face is like a soft rubber, like a bath toy or something. It's really weird. I suppose it's not too bad. I mean, like I said, when I was a kid, I thought it was okay, but yeah, things have definitely changed. You've got, I guess, nice paintwork on the boots there, but yeah. So yeah, this is a bunch of 90s figures. Hope you guys found this somewhat entertaining, and you can definitely see how far sort of toy engineering technology's come in the last however many years. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to check out some of my other videos, and yeah, thanks for watching.